right, welcome everybody to the comic panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Talon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawinta.
And today we are covering Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye. And this is part of our Comics Roulette theme. This is the third installment of that. And I believe this was on Jake's initial list for this theme. This was your number 2, number 1?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm incensed. You can't not know.
He's vaguely intrigued.
It was like 3 weeks ago, at least.
His mind has changed.
That's so true. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely towards the top of the list, though. Yeah, and
Maybe the only person who rolled and got towards the top of your list.
Yeah. So true, actually. Let me see. Actually, I can find out here. It looks like Sin City, was a number 1, I believe.
Jake 3 weeks ago couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I was confused at my own placement. Which, after reading this, I think I was right? No.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your number 2, just to get it out there, DC: The New Frontier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that at least I had heard good things about.
Mm-hmm. So.
And this, I guess I had also heard good things, but it's also from Frank Miller, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. I see where your thought process was, at least. Yeah. I mean, I would say that Sin City, maybe just by virtue of being a little bit older, has more of a reputation than the other. But, yeah. So yeah, this is Sin City. Like I said, its reputation kind of precedes it. It's also very well known for the feature film that was co-directed by Frank Miller and Rodrigo Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just heavily stylized to mimic the art of the comic, so it's like very stark black and whites, more so than just a normal black and white film would be. It's like heavily contrasted.
I've seen that movie against my will. All I remember is Bruce Willis out that window.
Yeah, I have not actually seen the movie.
Same.
Neither have
But I did think that, wait, isn't this Bruce Willis or something?
Yeah. Kind of wild, actually, to cast Bruce Willis in the role of Marv, actually.
We want you to play a guy who's so ugly.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, he was cast in Die Hard way back when, and people were all like, this is ridiculous. This Bruce Willis guy, he was only in, some, I think he was in a romantic comedy and then a reoccurring sitcom role, and they were like, he's not a leading action hero, this is not Arnold Schwarzenegger, So yeah, to be all this big brawler tough guy, and it's yeah, Bruce Willis, perfect. I'm that's actually kind of really crazy. But anyway, so yeah, Sin City follows a rough and tumble guy named Marv. We don't know a lot about him except for he's self-described as really ugly. He probably, I think he says that he's been to jail or prison.
Yeah, and he's not too smart.
Yeah, he's not too smart.
And he also is has some kind of mental issues that he's dealing with.
Yeah, he takes pills. But also, I kind of assumed that those pills maybe, I don't know,
weren't prescribed to him.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That is what I was thinking.
Oh, gotcha. I did not catch that. I thought it was. Yeah. I guess that's fair.
His parole officer supplies him with them.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah. They're prescribed in the sense that this will help.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we really don't know what the pills are, so we don't know what kind of effects they're having on him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and what he's concerned about is that he thinks that if he doesn't take his pills and he gets like worked up enough that he might like just lose hold of reality, basically, that he will, become this psychotic killer. And like have no reason for doing anything.
No. I mean, the story starts with him with this gorgeous lady.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know why she gave him the time of day. Her name's Goldie. They have a wonderful time together. He's stone drunk, wakes up, and she's dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoever came in and did this was really sneaky and quiet. But also, I couldn't even protect her.
Yeah.
I was stone drunk. Mm-hmm. And of course, the police are on the way, even though he just woke up. Mm-hmm. So clearly, somebody called them, knew that she was dead before he even knew. Yeah. So he's got to outrun the police.
Yeah.
And he feels so strongly about her death that he's going to find who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because she was nice to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's nice to him.
Mm-hmm.
Except for her.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he breaks into his parole officer's house, and, like, basically, like, bandages himself up and gets, more pills that he needs.
Convinces her to give him some more pills.
Yeah.
Waxes poetically about the fact that she's gay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was surprised you made it 40 pages before the Frank Miller came out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it was there from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also fair.
She's so gorgeous. Goldie's so gorgeous. I can't believe she'd ever look at me.
Yeah, we'll talk in a little bit about, like, between this version of Frank Miller and then, like, the Batman and All-Star Batman and Robin Frank Miller and the Year One Frank Miller, and then what I have to assume is in the Holy Terror Frank Miller. I have not read that.
Oh, yeah.
But not yet. I just want to get through this a little bit more.
He goes to his mother's house, right?
Yes.
Get Gladys.
Yes, Gladys.
His gun.
She keeps in his childhood room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I think he keeps it in his childhood room.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you said she keeps it. I was like, I mean, technically true, but I think that she doesn't really know about what her son gets up to very much.
The fact that he has a childhood room.
Yeah.
Sin City.
Yeah. But yeah, then he goes out to a hole-in-the-wall bar / I guess it's also a strip club too, a country western strip club, and yeah, basically starts he finds like this little, like, what does he call him,
Weaselly guy.
Weasel, yeah, Weevil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Weevil the Weasel.
He
roughs him up and tells him to tell everybody that he's acting crazy and stone drunk and sobbing over this lady named Goldie.
Yeah.
And then he lies in wait for his perfect trap.
Yeah.
Which is drinking and waiting till they show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically hitmen. And then
they take him out back, and then he gets tea. He's actually not drunk enough to have lost his ability to turn the tables on them.
Yeah.
And shoot them both and get a name out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then gets that name, and we also see, though, from behind a wall, there's a mysterious lady who says, "You're gonna pay for what you did to me."
So yeah, I mean, he starts to think that he's hallucinating, or like her smell, the smell of Goldie.
Yeah.
He like remembers her, but she's dead. And meanwhile, who's around the corner? It looks like Goldie watching him.
Exactly. Is this all a setup? Yeah.
I mean, it's him going through beating guys up and getting more names out of it, trying to follow the trail back to the who killed Goldie.
And eventually he makes it up to a church and a pastor. And yeah, basically goes into the confessional and then tells him what he knows and shoots him, but after he gets a name, which is Rourke,
which is a super important guy in the city.
Yes,
like all good conspiracies, it goes all the way to the top.
Yes.
This is noir at its finest.
Yeah.
Cardinal Rourke.
He's not officially a cardinal.
No, he's not officially a saint. He is officially a cardinal.
He is a cardinal.
Yeah. Because they do sometimes call him Saint Patrick.
Yeah, this is more of the Catholic, I guess, hierarchy.
Yeah, it's definitely Catholic hierarchy. Then he starts to basically, the woman who looks like Goldie finds him and starts to run him down with a car
several times.
Yeah. Like,
she's like, "Oh, this isn't real. I'm going crazy."
Yeah. Also shoots him, but like, I don't think that she actually hits any of the shots, but
no,
is shooting at him as she, runs him over, basically. Yeah, and so he's all like, wow, I must have really been hallucinating that.
Yeah. Goldie would never do that.
Yeah. And also she's dead.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
She's dead.
So, yeah. But he got a name from the priest, I believe. Well, he got the name of Rourke, but
location, right?
Yeah, that's right. He was all like, if you don't believe me, go to this place, blah 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 blah.
It's a farm on the outskirts.
Yes. And so he goes to this farm, finds a big dog with that's like, pretty
it's like a wolf.
Yeah, like a wolf, very aggressive. And basically has to like, beat it up to the point they won't attack him. But he's like, I don't really have a problem with you, but you do have like blood on your breath. But
the farm just gives him the creeps in general.
Yeah.
There's a weird feeling here. It smells like blood and bad things have happened here. And he finds some bones.
Yeah.
And then who is it who gets the sneak up on him? Which never happens, really, he says.
Yeah.
Take his word for it.
It's Kevin.
Kevin, who looks like the most normal guy you would ever see.
Yeah.
Well, that's the creepy part, right? He's just too chill.
Yeah.
It's just Kevin. Neutral expression. Beats him up. Beats up Marv.
Yeah, he's too fast and nimble.
Takes him hostage. He wakes up in the same room as his parole officer from before.
Yeah.
But she's already seen what happens here, which is she's lost her arm. She woke up without, well, not her whole arm. She woke up without her hand. And she got to watch Kevin eat her hand.
Yeah.
But
both stuck in this enclosed space.
The hand was already cooked. To be fair.
Sure.
Do you think that was the part she was most upset about?
Yep.
No, you have to cook it first.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a cannibal. In case that was unclear.
Yeah.
And
Kevin
just
the
like
cannibal.
Yeah.
Rack of there's like a bunch of wall mounts of like other women's heads.
Yeah, the trophies.
Yeah.
Like hunting trophies, basically.
Yep.
So this happens pretty often.
Yes. Yeah, and then Marv pretty much gets them out of there by just running against the door. It almost seems like the kind of like comical thing of like, you know, like if I just keep going, it'll eventually break down. But it does actually eventually break down. He's just that good.
He's just that big and dumb.
Yeah. Luckily, when they get out also, Gladys is still there on the ground where he dropped her.
Or Gladys.
Gladys? Oh, is that
Gladys being the name he gave his gun?
Yes. Yeah.
It's got to be a woman's name always.
Yes.
That's how you name guns.
And cars and tools and pretty much any object of want or desire because yuck. Anyway, then a big like paramilitary helicopter lands with some guys that look dangerous.
Military guys.
Led by a guy whose name could be Scorpion. That's just the vibe I get.
Okay. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah.
Unnamed, but yeah. Basically Marv is all like to his parole officer. We haven't named her. She has a name. I just can't really remember.
So Lucille,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, just stay down, you know. And she's like, no, these guys are here to help. So I'm going to, like, you know, go up to them. And
I'm not going to have you get us killed just because you want to kill some more people.
Yeah.
Just 'cause they've shown up.
Yeah.
Knocks him out, right? With the sledgehammer?
Or with a rock.
A rock, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think she thought they were there to help. I think that she was just like, you're going to get us more killed.
Yeah.
We just got to give up.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, these guys won't eat us.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Uh-huh.
But she woefully miscalculated their intentions. And they end up killing her.
Yeah.
But yeah, they shoot her up. Marv comes in and finishes them off. But he couldn't save her in time.
Yeah. It reminds me very much of the opening of Deadpool and Wolverine. That's.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
I would say it's much more serious in tone.
Oh, well, yes. But you can imagine Wolverine, or you can imagine, you know, like Deadpool just like, this guy's just going ham on a bunch of military people.
Yeah. For sure. Definitely is just a big ol' kill sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Marv, you know, goes around in the rain thinking.
And it says that it helps him to think, being in the rain.
Yeah.
He knows that he needs to find more of the puzzle pieces.
And
so he starts.
And well, he also I think Lucille told him that Goldie was actually she was a lady of the night.
Yes.
And so he goes, okay, well, then people must know her around here. You know, it comes out that this whole Sin City, the reason it was like, it became so popular was they imported a bunch of ladies.
Prostitutes.
I don't remember what, like the gold rush era?
Yes, yes. It was going from a gold town to a ghost town. So they
made a new type of commodity.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Specifically, the Rourke family from long ago.
And that's why they're still rich.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, basically he does find people that know her, but they, you know, tie him up, you know, like incapacitate him. And it's the girl that looks like Goldie. She, you know, basically he's like, wow, okay, I've fully gone crazy. You know, I'm seeing Goldie. She can't be here. So like, yeah, I just have lost connection with reality. And she's like, no, I'm just her twin sister.
Yep. Wendy.
Yeah. And yeah, basically after like, you know, she pistol whips him. She basically thinks that he is the killer still, which is what he's been framed for since the beginning. And so she wants revenge for, you know, the death of her sister. But they, you know, realize basically that one, he could have, you know, broken the bounds that they had him tied up in.
Yeah.
Like from the whole time. And then, yeah, he just says that he didn't do it and that he was framed.
And that he's been trying to look for who killed her.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh, well, I guess he's not on the wrong side.
Yeah. So, yeah, they team up.
And he totally reveals that he wasn't even really that tied up. He could just undo it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, maybe we can trust him because he just put up with us beating him up for a little bit.
So yeah, after they kind of team up, they go to the store together to buy a bunch of supplies, rubber tubing, gas, a
With
saw.
Wendy's money,
Yeah.
they get enough materials to go back to Kevin's farm.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like he just like goes all out war, like, you know, puts like, you know, basically turns the whole gas tank that they got into a giant Molotov and like throws it through the farmhouse window.
See, oh, gotcha.
Very Punisher-esque.
Yes.
In like the setup and the like
Execution.
fighting this. Yeah. Also the torture.
Yeah. Yeah, he sets up razor wire that is supposed to cut through bone like butter. And Kevin actually avoids it, which was a little bit anticlimactic.
Show me the razor wire.
Yeah. But
Chekhov's razor wire.
yeah.
It just bounces over it.
But yeah, they get into a pretty big bloody fight. You know, Kevin has like razor sharp nails too, you know, so he scratches Marv's face. But ultimately, Marv is able to get the final big punch and knock him out.
Because it was kind of neat. Is like last time he like outmaneuvered him, or Kevin outmaneuvered Marv. So Marv's solution was, well, if I handcuff Kevin to myself, he can't get away.
Yeah.
Yep.
So true.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And then Wendy comes, you know, Marv had said to stay in the car, but she comes and is like, let me kill him. And he's like, no. And does...
Knocks her out.
Knocks her out, puts her back in the car, and then starts chopping Kevin up. Yeah.
Alive.
Yep. Yeah, kept alive.
Akin to the way that he did to his own prey.
Yes. Yeah. And then he lets out, just because he was using like tourniquets to like keep everything like clean, basically. And then he lets out just enough blood to attract his wolf dog to come and eat him. But yeah.
In the end, it just unnerves Marv because Marv's like, he never screamed.
Yeah.
He never freaked out. Even when the dog was eating him alive. He was kind of chill with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very unsettling character. Yeah, so Marv takes Wendy back to Nancy's house, who...
One of the dancers from that bar?
I think so. Yeah, they basically say that she is, you know, she owes him, like, a favor, or, like, you know, they just have, like, a good kind of relationship.
Yeah, he saved her that one time, but, you know,
Yeah.
they already were decent friends.
Yeah. And yeah, so like, yeah, she helps patch him up and stuff. But he's still, you know, now he's killed Kevin, but there's still more to do. He has to go all the way up to the top.
Yeah, Rourke is still out there.
Yeah.
So despite getting Goldie's killer, he didn't really solve anything.
Yes.
Well, he wants to find out more, like, how is this tied in with, like, the people who own this city?
Yeah. Why was he, you know, targeted? All of that stuff.
Framed,
Yeah. So he goes to the Rourke compound, and just starts like, you know, beating on security guards, getting all the way up to the top of the tower until he...
All you have to do is break in.
Yeah. That's what he does. He's, you know, in no time in the chambers of Patrick Rourke. And he has the head of Kevin.
I guess just for the drama, but
Yeah.
Wrong.
you know, I kind of respect it.
Yeah.
Like, if you come in and you're like, I killed Kevin, he'd be like, did you really though?
Yeah, he's pretty good at fighting. Are you sure? Are we talking about the same
is.
Kevin?
Yep.
Yeah. And
Patrick's just a little guy.
yeah, he is just a little old man. But he did have a fondness for Kevin.
Kevin had a great singing voice. He admitted he had a lot of faults. But, you know, actually, we worked it out, and we have a lot in common.
Yeah. It turns out eating people's cool.
It's worse because the way he says it is, yeah, you know, I first was treating him because obviously he was crazy. But then I just kind of like saw the happiness that he had because he was eating people, but like he just talked about how he was like so connected to God, and like I just like started getting jealous. Like maybe I could connect with God that way too. And so
He was so confident.
yeah,
He
I started
got it.
eating people. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. You know.
Like, it's so interesting how I kind of got that already. Like, if Patrick Rourke was involved in this, then probably he was pretty chill with him eating people.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, he really does just go, it was so magical.
I didn't see the "that's how I see God" twist coming.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like, yeah, I keep a serial killer on payroll to like take care of problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that is kind of what I
Also,
thought too.
I love him. He's a great little guy.
Yeah.
And you had to kill him.
Yeah.
And then Marv gets his little wish. He does get to hear Patrick go through torture and be, you know, pretty
Yeah.
sad about it.
Yeah.
Versus Kevin, who was very, very okay with it.
Yeah, but eventually the security guards do get to him and they shoot him up, but he's not dead.
Nope.
He wakes up on the operating table, gets fed through tubes for months, and then gets sentenced. He gets like, he's still fully framed for, you know, all of the things he did do and the things that he didn't do.
Yep.
Even if he wasn't framed, he probably still would have gotten the chair.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, he gets the chair, and they pull the switch, and he's still alive. He laughs at them, and then he gets it again.
Yep.
And then they say he's gone. The end.
Standard life in Sin City.
Yep. So yeah, that was Sin City. Yeah. So this really, okay. I have a lot to say about this book, I feel like. But just to start, because I said that we would talk about it after we got through the, you know, plot summary. I feel like this really puts into perspective Frank Miller in a way that I didn't expect, you know, because like we read somewhat recently All-Star Batman and Robin, and I was like, where is this coming from? What is this guy, you know? And it's like, oh, okay, I see. I can totally get the thread now with the way that he writes Marv, where it's like, you know, you think, you know, like, okay, somebody writes The Punisher, for instance, you know, and like you said, Jake, you know, this is a very Punisher-esque kind of character. And you get the feeling that it's like, well, somebody that writes The Punisher isn't, you know, like The Punisher. He isn't, you know, doesn't believe that that's like aspirational.
They're exploring ideas of justice.
Yeah, exactly.
Marv likes to say a lot of slurs
Yeah, Marv
while
does like.
doling out justice.
So yeah, you don't get the feeling that it's like, the writer's writing a character. He's not writing any necessarily like deep aspects of himself, like sure, like, whenever you're writing any character, it's supposed to reflect you in a little bit, but you write a cannibal, you're not a cannibal, I guess I should clarify, I'm not saying that Frank Miller is a cannibal here. Just put that
As
on
far as we know.
As far as we know.
Not even allegedly.
Yeah, not allegedly. But yeah, but this is making a lot more sense of how he views, I guess, like heroes. Like it very much reminds me of like, the interpretation of like Rorschach being like, yes, that is like an aspirational figure. He is cool, is very much like, oh, okay, yeah. I think that is his intention, is to be like, yeah, even though Marv says that he's like, uncool, ugly, and like not a hero, you are supposed to like respect him. From Frank Miller's.
He did what nobody else could do.
Yeah.
What we all want to do.
Yeah, but at the same time, he is still seen as a loser. Like, like it is deeply like funny and like very like telling that, he's basically when before they go to the store to get the supplies to take down Kevin, he's sleeping in a bed next to Wendy's bed,
thinking that Wendy is Goldie.
Yeah,
right?
and basically like tries to sleep with her, and like she smacks him. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, Wendy. it's like that is some loser behavior, and but then at the same time, he's kind of rewarded at the end because Wendy comes and like visits him,
and she's like, pretend I'm Goldie.
Yeah,
let's sleep together.
Right. So yeah,
evening before your death penalty sentence is carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a dog
last time.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
He's old and lame, but he did what had to be done.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So,
and if this is like the only time it happened, that'd be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very Dark Knight Returns and Strikes Back technically, and also All-Star, and presumably also Holy Terror, because based on everything I've read about it, it's pretty similar, except instead of Sin City, it's Middle East.
Well, there's a ton of other Sin City, like, series, and I took a look at some of them, and they're all kind of the same dude, from what I've seen.
How many other Marvs can there be in this town?
Well, that's the thing. I was like, is it just more Marv? Because it looks like Marv on the cover, but no, this time it's a detective, but he sucks. And he's shot by his partner and because he's just overzealous. He's like, what a way to start retirement.
Yeah.
So can you explain to me again, like what you noticed about Frank Miller? Because
I mean, I guess it's just that, like, basically, it is what he values in kind of a hero-esque character, I guess is what I would say.
Gotcha.
Because it never felt like, when you read All-Star Batman and Robin, it feels like such a departure, especially for Batman. Like, that's what we talked about in that episode, was like,
he's like a loser.
Yeah, he's a loser, exactly. But it feels like he is interested in writing like kind of one type of character.
Okay, yeah.
He's the loser, but he does what has to be done because nobody else will do it, and he's super cool while doing it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure about that last part, but I get the feeling that Frank Miller thinks he's super cool while he does it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you remember, like, that's the one where he's, like, on the rooftops, like, laughing his head off, right?
Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also half the time he's, like, trying to starve the kid back in the cave.
Yeah.
Because it has to be done. And Alfred thinks, oh, man, my tortured angel of a son.
Mm-hmm.
but also I gotta feed that kid,
Right.
even though he doesn't want him fed, and then Batman basically beats him up. It's
Well,
such
yeah.
a... I mean, I don't know necessarily if I think that Frank Miller is like that, but yeah, he does seem to be drawn to this type of character, right?
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah. I personally can't like resonate with that. I'm like that's not like me and him would disagree on that very much on what we would think is cool.
I think he's an interesting character.
Marv?
It's hard sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I didn't super hate the melodrama of him talking about himself in his head. Although, man, for 13 issues, every single issue they gotta kind of recap what happens.
Oh yeah.
So he's gotta go, oh god, Goldie, I miss you. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so not worthy. I gotta find her killer. But he kind of pushes the limits of what's possible, right? Like how many things he does for the sake of he has to be the one to be able to do it, like breaking into Patrick's establishment, compound, you know? There's no other way we could have it. We can't have him try and fail, then he's the hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you can bring him into court. That doesn't really mesh with Marv's character. Like, I'm gonna collect all the evidence and go to the press. I'm gonna expose. Like, that's not what Marv would ever do.
I thought he was, since this is very noir, I immediately assumed that he was just like a private eye, but we really don't find out what he is beyond a drunk and a bully.
I thought he was like...
Yeah, I think he just, like, fights for a living. But not like as a boxer. Just like...
You mean like a mugger?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's not a great guy.
I couldn't get past the simple fact that he's doing all of this for someone he met and slept with. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's I can understand the character. I think it's a really insane thing to do, but I get the feeling that, you know, he's like, I finally feel alive. I have a purpose. He's just latched onto this. It really isn't about her.
Oh,
really
interesting.
Isn't. He doesn't even know her as a person.
I'm not sure what, like, the name of the trope is, but there is, like, a thing with characters that are, like, obviously mentally unwell, and whoever, like, shows them a shred of, like, decency, it's like they are now, like, clinging to them.
Worshipped.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a name for that, and maybe a better explanation, but, like, that... As much as it is like a dumb motivation, it does fit with this character. It's like, oh yeah, you like, even if you weren't in Sin City, like you never had a chance.
Gotcha.
Bonkers.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, Marv's bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
Like the best case scenario for him is probably just like lifetime commitment to some kind of mental health facility.
Oh, he'd
which
be one
probably doesn't exist in Sin City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. If it is there, like...
That's where we put snitches so we can have them killed.
Oh, yeah. It's like Arkham Asylum
right,
or something.
Yeah. It's like the heart of all the evil.
Like, yeah, Kevin is there, like, leading a like knitting circle or something. It's not good.
Yeah.
So this kind of is like Gotham without the Batman, huh?
Yeah, I was reading this and I'm like, I got my timeline mixed up. I thought this came before Dark Knight Returns, but I guess it comes after.
Oh,
I can
okay.
see that.
Okay, yeah. But I thought that was like 80s. Or was it 90s?
It was 80s. Dark Knight Returns was 86. This came out in 91 originally.
Oh, this still okay.
So like a 5-6 year difference for when this ultimately like concluded.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, especially like putting my mind back to, I wasn't alive in 1991, but
Yeah.
like looking at the comics that were around at the time and thinking about this coming back, I can see why it has the reputation that it does.
What would you say that reputation is?
Like that, like comics can be a mature storytelling medium, which like it tells you what the idea of mature was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
What if we had a bunch of nudity and violence and our character said slurs? Like, oh, cool, dude. That's I guess that's mature technically.
Right.
Get you an R rating, but is that really mature?
Yeah. Right.
It's actually really funny. One of the back covers, or like the areas where they did, what is it? Readers write into the writer with questions. There was some discussion of like, hey, kids know how much violence they can handle. They should be able to decide whether they can pick up a book or not.
What?
I guess the portion of our population that knows themselves the best, the children.
Children know how to set boundaries is a direct quote from it. And
Wow.
I think that is one of the few things which they don't know.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was a discussion in a different Sin City
okay.
storyline.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Okay, kids know best. They should read this. I don't know. The story, it's... Marv really is the one who's fleshed out, obviously. We get his impression of everybody else. Like, he constantly brings up that Lucille's a lesbian. And what a shame.
But she's so hot. How could she possibly be a lesbian?
Maybe she needs a little help. And then she slaps Marv up for that. And fine. He's just a little boundary stepping bugger.
But he's
Doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut.
But he's, broken. Like, he needs help.
He's obviously not well, but at the same time, though.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of like just goes, oh man, he's a little old and kooky. Let him fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the story obviously more than Heroes in Crisis. And I
Okay.
liked it more than Cable Classic. But that's
Yeah.
not a high bar.
Yeah. I can agree that this story is more well constructed than Heroes in
It has a
Crisis.
start and end. Crazy.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
it,
Not to interrupt you.
it ended thematically well.
It made sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I almost expected them to put Marv in the mental place. I thought he wasn't even going to get a chance at killing Patrick Rourke. It was going to continue to be dragged out that there's this huge conspiracy and I must kill Patrick Rourke. And now I've been put in this mental asylum. And I see Goldie everywhere and I really have gone crazy. But they're like, nah, he breaks in, he kills him. Sin City continues to be Sin City, which makes sense. So yeah, thematically,
Right.
there's not much changes. It's so interesting how many of the characters are like, I don't get why you cared about Goldie. She was nobody. She's nothing. We all are. It's Gotham City eats you up alive and you'll never get out.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes sense why he wrote Batman like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Batman and Black Canary canoodling on the docks.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just
Marv
Marv and Goldie.
Yeah.
Or Wendy.
Now with like with the added context of other things that he's written, it's so much. It makes so much more sense. it's like who's the guy who does Wanted?
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
I forgot his name.
It's
not
the opposite
Mark
of that.
Mark
Mark
Millar. Yeah.
Millar. It's
Okay.
opposite Mark Millar. Because like the more I read about Mark Millar, the less I understand him. The more I read about Frank Miller, the more I understand. Whether
I
that's
see.
a good or bad thing, I don't know. But I understand it more.
Gotcha. Yeah. At least you can say that he's unpredictable with the other guy.
Is he though?
Mark Millar. There you go.
Oh, Mark Millar. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
I thought you were
Unless
talking
you're
about
acting-
Marv.
Oh no.
You're like, at least
Unless
we don't
you're
know what
ask-
Marv will do next.
Yeah.
Unless you're asking Mark Millar for a story pitch, in which case there's like a 70% chance it will be something he's done already.
And it's probably like a 70% chance I won't like it. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
But this story, it's not very complicated, but there's something to be said for a simple but well executed story.
Yeah.
And I think this is well told.
It's the very generic kind of like beat up people, get info, go to next place, beat up people, get info. But I don't know, I never was too bored with it.
That's fair.
It was a very straightforward read. He does the thing, he either succeeds or doesn't succeed,
Yeah.
and we know what he wants to do from the beginning. And the stakes get revealed to be higher and higher, but I mean, the story isn't super concerned with stakes. Everybody gets shot. Everybody lives or dies. Meh.
Yeah. Which is stakes in and of themselves. Yeah, I can like this this comic was also lauded for its art. And I can see that. Like there is definitely a very unique use of just high contrast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to own the book. It's but it's like really interesting, some of this. Oh my gosh, Jake just held up the book.
Yeah.
Did you buy that
I did.
out of a desire
it's-
to, or in order to read it?
I had a gift card. I was at a Barnes & Noble. I saw it on a shelf. I was like, I gotta read that for the show. Pick that up.
Oh wow.
Are you going to keep it?
Probably. I don't know.
Just for a little bit.
I don't think I'd read it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you can like pour over again and discover more clues.
Yeah, no, it's not like you ever read something and it's like every time you read the book you find like a new perspective, or like you find yourself noticing something new in the writing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case with this.
It's simple. It is what it is.
In some ways, the art's kind of like that, right? Like, it's very good at drawing your eye to the one important thing on panel.
Which is quite necessary. Yep.
Yeah, it's concise. It's cool. It was easy to read in I don't think pleasant is the right word, but
yeah,
there's
no.
something very appealing about how straightforward it is.
It's like I didn't have to be here any longer than I needed to.
I think I said this. It took me 2 minutes to read every issue.
No.
I might go back and look at some of the art. Some of the compositions and layouts were interesting.
Gotcha.
Very dynamic when it wanted to be.
Especially like the limitations of it's all black and white and not like
That's tough.
a black and white movie where like there are different shades and tones.
Yeah, that would be grayscale.
It is like,
This
to
is
put it in
black
hex
and
code, it is all, full F and full zero.
For real. Oh, I did think of one part I really liked with Marv. The coat. Take off your coat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, what a weird like.
that
That was kind of
I
fun.
was like, yeah, that was a great callback. He's really messed up, but I love it. I love that part.
Yeah, obviously not well, but it's not the most concerning thing about him.
And then taking out like a paramilitary group and being like, take off your coat. Like you instantly know he just wants that coat.
Look at that.
Yeah,
coat.
he gets characterization. I feel like a lot of the women kind of don't. They're there. They're there to be sad about their other sibling. That's it. That's all they are.
Say it's if you've never read it and you're the least bit interested, it's probably worth checking out.
Yeah. I
But
think
if you
it's
don't like Frank Miller's writing, it's not.
I mean, considering how long ago it came out and how many people have tried to do the same thing as it, worth the read.
Gotcha.
It still feels relatively interesting and fresh.
Yeah,
Even
I'd
for
say it
noir.
holds up pretty well.
Standard noir. A lady dies. We must
Other than
discover
the
the
slurs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff like that I was just like, I couldn't recommend it.
It feels very much like his character. But man,
Yeah.
he does suck in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but I mean, I get the impression you're not really supposed to like Marv.
Right.
And if you
think that
do,
goes back
that
to
may
Frank
reflect
Miller.
poorly on you.
Yeah, I think that goes back to Frank Miller's thing. Although I do feel like you're supposed to like Batman.
Yeah.
No, if it's. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not paid enough to psychoanalyze a man through these weird character themes that keep showing up all the time.
Diary entries he keeps sending in. Dear diary, I took out the military today.
Oh, it was so cool.
I was really cool when I did it. So, Talon, you found the art interesting, but you're saying you don't like Marv, can't recommend it.
Yeah. Like Marv and a lot of the content in general, just like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
People are naked. They gotta be naked though. Come on, it's Sin City.
Yeah, it's like that's what I was expecting going in, because it's Sin
And it
City.
delivered. Somehow not as bad as I thought it could be. I guess the movie really made me just dislike it.
Oh yeah, was the
Going
movie
into it, I did not like the movie from what I've seen of it.
okay?
But somehow the comic was better than the movie.
Yeah.
What a crazy idea.
I heard good things about the movie. Honestly, more good things about the movie than the comic.
I don't know if I can. I don't remember enough about it. I just remember being off-put by the movie. And then now to think about the fact that Bruce Willis was playing Marv,
Yeah.
like, I don't think I like that.
Well, to me, I'm like, I can't think of like what other character Bruce Willis has played. That, like, to me, it makes sense. Like, I don't think of Bruce Willis as,
I don't know. They got
romantic comedy, right?
the guy who
Red.
played Cable in Deadpool 2
Oh,
or Sin City 2.
Oh,
okay.
And I think that would have been a better Marv than
interesting.
what we got.
Okay.
I'm blanking on his name.
Josh
Okay,
Brolin.
Bruce Willis didn't play Marv,
Josh
by the
Brolin.
way.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh?
I misremembered. I probably just saw
Oh.
a bunch of Bruce Willis scenes. It's Mickey Rourke that plays Marv.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, that's actually really good casting.
Yeah.
then.
He looked great in this poster.
So then who was Bruce Willis? Totally unrelated?
Hardigan.
Evan?
Hardigan? Oh.
They don't even show Kevin on the cover here.
Well, Kevin is in there.
I guess I gotta watch this.
But Kevin is played by a guy that is familiar.
Is he?
Does he have a name?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Elijah Wood.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
The whole time I was reading, and like every time Kevin was on the panel, I was like, okay, who is he modeled after? And is it an insult? Because he looks the most like a normal human being out of any character. And
I
was
think
like,
that's kind of the point. If I were to hazard a guess, out of like having every other character be this like incredibly exaggerated, like near caricature, having somebody who would appear like very normal and buttoned up being the serial killer is probably on purpose.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's just
That's
a
fair.
normal person.
That's fair.
would you watch Sin City, the 2005 movie? Sounds like you guys would.
No.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I guess I gotta watch it. I gotta see Mickey Rourke.
All right, comic panel movie night.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
No.
I trust my memory.
I hear the second one is bad.
Well, yeah, a sequel.
Yeah, it's a sequel separated by like 15 years. Those are never good.
Oh wow, really?
When did? Okay, now I gotta look it up.
Are you talking about A Dame to Killer? I think that was like 2014 versus the 2015, so they're 10 years apart.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
What?
Yeah, that's
Almost a decade instead of a decade and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, you just
Gotcha.
gotta kill your character off at the end. That's the way to end it.
Sure. Yeah.
I was surprised getting to the end of this book that like it continues.
Yeah.
Although I guess it sounds more like it's other stories told that happened in Sin City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the impression I get from like the two I looked at.
Yeah. Apparently.
There's so much going on there. So many bad things.
Right. Apparently, Frank Miller only wanted this to be like, or originally planned for this to be like 48 pages. And then was like, oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away. Like, Marv just took the
You
show.
could shrink it down to that
Yeah,
much.
you'd really
but-
have to cut down some panels and like.
Yeah.
It's nice how they take up the whole page sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it would be an incredibly fast like progression.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 6 issues? Probably fit it in pretty well there.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we have anything more to say?
We'd watch the movie, apparently. Half of us. Talon unwillingly.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, thanks for putting this on your list, Jake.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I would have put it at number 1 again. But, you know, I didn't have a bad time.
Oh, yeah.
For all the slurs and all the naked ladies. Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Truly the highest praise you
Frank
can
Miller.
hand out at the comic panel. Could have been worse.
An interesting piece of comics history. Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the comic panel. I'm Talon.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
And we will see you guys next time. If you like this episode, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the Comic Panel 1 and listen to more of us on the Comic Panel podcast on Spotify. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks from now for our review of The Gravediggers Union Volume 1.